Bamburgh Castle divides and defends its villagers from the chilling and insufferable North Sea waters, in a similar vein to those who tried to besiege this fort throughout its long existence. Yet David Wells has so far felt just one Astral, a man who simply stays out of love for this building. This, though, was to prove a turning point as we approached one particularly active area.
I feel a bit nauseous coming here.
Do you?
Yeah, I don't like this spot here. And it feels colour-wise, if I'm, because that's what they're using, colour. It's very black, so black shadows.
So that would indicate what, black shadows?
I'm going to say what I'm thinking. It sounds more suicide to me than it does a push or shove or a killing or an accident. I really feel it's that dark.
And you feel that this particular area here is where the body landed?
Someone landed, yeah. Okay. Someone landed.
All right. That's interesting because earlier on today I did a piece to the camera to explain that many people have actually felt sick, and I know Richard Felix will back me up on this.
It's a very, very active spot. It is like a dark channel of energy. Now that's not a being, that's not a person. It's a channel of energy. So it's different. I mean, we've experienced this a couple of times before where there's been something that's just left a black impression.
Right.
There's also no recorded murders or suicides that have taken place here, but you're not the first medium to come to this spot and sense something happening on this staircase, someone dying where you're standing.
So although it's not recorded doesn't mean it's
No, exactly.
All right. Do you want to go through into that room? Yeah. With Richard confirming the previous eyewitness testimony heard in this part of the castle, David leads us into the tapestry passage, a narrow corridor that was about to defy its subtle appearance and reveal another man who's thought to have suffered within Bamburgh's fortified walls.
Sorry, I'm going to have a moment. Just don't mind if I have a little distressing moment. Sorry, Matthew.
Oh, go on.
I apologise. There's a man on the stairs, again a suicide, and something I feel very strongly about is war and the nature of war and the uselessness of war. This is he's really strong, which is why it's affected me emotionally. It's a World War II soldier, and he's killed himself. He's shot himself, I think, in the head. But he shot himself here.
Here?
In this building.
Right, okay.
Which doesn't make much sense, really.
So this is completely different from what you've experienced down there?
Absolutely, completely different.
And this is a complete time shift to World War II?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Did you say World War II?
Yeah, I did.
You did, did you?
It feels to me as if he's been convalescing, so this is possibly used for a convalescing home. And I know that that's probably what some of these buildings were used for. And it's almost like regret. Some people, having served in the forces myself, and I had friends who've been on active duty, and a lot of the things they sometimes feel if you've lost colleagues is guilt, because you feel guilty because you've survived and they haven't. Particularly if a huge swathe of them have been killed, and there's like a dozen, or you're the only survivor of say 10 mates, and you're the only one left. I've heard people in life describe this feeling that why should I live? And there's kind of like that sensation with him. Why should I live? Why should I have lived? Because it's in the past.
How old was he?
He looks young. I would say lucky if he'd hit 30, to be honest. Late 20s, early 30s.
Anything here all the time?
I think he's grounded. I think he's on the staircase active. He may be around other parts of the house.
Why the staircase?
Or the hotel. Because I think there seems to be a solitude in this spot that he may have felt when he was here, somewhere he could get away. This place might not have been used a lot. The corridor may not have been used a lot. And I haven't got him killing himself, or that's not the image he's given me. The image he's actually given me, he's on the stairs, and if people see him, and I think they may see him, he's got his hands like this, so he's like that. He's sitting on the stairs, thinking about, why am I still here?
Okay.
So that's the, if you like, that's the key pose. That's the pose that you get to get the story.
Right. The spectre of a suicidal young soldier is strongly associated with this part of a building that did house the infirm and injured during World War II. But why should he choose to tie himself, apparently both physically and emotionally, to the surroundings in which he is said to have ended his own life? With spiritualist medium Gordon Smith having also arrived in Bamburgh, we could move on a step to ascertain the emotions that still resonate here. We start in the Armoury, a self-explanatory room with contents that Gordon is almost immediately able to translate.
This is I can almost, as I look round, see blood dripping from them. I know they've obviously been used at some point, but I can see in my mind's eye, almost like these things being used to kill people. But there's, see if I were to do psychometry, and you take an object and it has a memory, or it gives off some kind of sort of residual memory. This, I feel, is what makes me sick.
All these artefacts.
Absolutely.
So that's what's making you.
And I feel as though, yes, they have been used to. There's some memory about these. They have really been used. They're not just on show. These have been used.
Strangely enough, the weapons that are in here aren't just for display. They're not all from this place. Some of them from the Tower of London, but they've all been used. They've actually been used in battle or picked up from battlefields. So, in other words, these weapons have killed.
Yeah.
And what do you think, activity-wise, what do you think we would experience if we were calling out in that corridor?
Here, I do feel as though, I do feel there's a male presence. And it's two different times I'm seeing. One, as I say, is something connected to this place. I feel quite a decent man. I don't feel anything bad about him. But I do feel as though there's something a bit more sinister. And I can't quite get that at the moment. I feel as if we sat and we try and make a more intense, you know, like a seance, then we might be able to pick up on that.
So there's something bad connected to you?
It's not even bad. I mean, something that's either that's been very aggressive, somebody who has been, because there's quite a strong negative feeling, I'd have to say.
So in addition to Richard confirming Gordon's graphic description of these implements of war, we move through to the adjacent room, a passageway that David had earlier identified as holding a troubled soul.
Do you know what? It's almost as though I just don't want to go any further. It's like, just stop. I am completely, it's like blocked. I come here and I cannot. It's like I really don't want to walk any further.
What's it feel like?
I just feel like sick in my stomach, really sick. It's as though there's, this I would say would be where there would be some sort of activity.
Yeah, well, you're not going to make you go in there, don't you?
Yeah.
Come on then.
That's okay. Now, I don't know about this place if it was used during the war, but I get the sense that it was, because I can feel soldiers now, but current or modern day.
Yes.
And I feel a lot of people brought here as a hospital or to get helped. It's two different places coming from there to here. It just feels completely different now. And I can see different functions, one after the other. It's almost like, right, there's somebody here who either belongs to the family, name of William, I'm hearing calling forward here, who connects to this family, who either live here now or who did live here, but that name's being called through. A man who would be, I don't know, maybe 70s, something like that, died very quickly.
Okay.
Get the sense of his presence around. Not bad, nothing haunting, but I do pick up that spirit presence.
So you think that William refers to the name of the spirit you're picking up on?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's not the bad feeling. This is just me tuning in and being able to pick up different... I mean, because as I say, there's lots of different levels here. You're dealing with a house that has got many images that are stored in it. As I say, there's images of people being helped, nurses.
Does the William name, as you talked about,
I feel he connects to the house.
And you think that William is similar to that time period there?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm